Hey, friend, welcome back. As always, I'm your host, Brian Davis, co-founder of Spark Rental, and I am right there in the trenches with you guys every month, investing my own money in our co-investing club deals. And today we are talking about why seller financing, right? Why do real estate investors love owner financing? And to help us answer that question, we brought in Lee Yoder from Threefold REI. So, Lee, what is the big deal about seller financing?
Well, Brian, it's a great question. And I'll tell you, 2, 3 years ago, nobody was talking about it. I wasn't talking about it because bank money was so easy and cheap to get.
So
So,
cheap.
right. So, we didn't have a reason to think about external financing. It was like, let's just go to the bank, get cheap money, get as much as we can. I mean, they were loaning us 80% loan to value and 80% of the rehab money and at 3.5% interest. So when during those times, during those years, you don't need seller financing. Today, things are very different. Not only are banks going to charge you, 7 to 8% maybe interest, a lot of times they just don't want to lend as badly. So some of them might just say no. And then some of them might say, yeah, we'll do it, but like we'll give you 60% leverage. Well, man, that hurts your returns. So suddenly there's a need for other alternate options on lending. And if you've got a seller who knows that the lending environment's not good, but they want to sell, and they've got a ton of equity and they've owned the property for a while and they owe little to nothing on it, then they have the opportunity to say, you know what, let me keep paying on my debt, or hey, I don't have any debt. And so I'll sell it to you. Let's say I'm going to sell it to you for 10 million. If you went and got a loan, they'd only give you 6 million, high interest rate, you couldn't buy it for 10. But hey, what if I only ask for 20% down? So I only need 2 million. So I'll essentially lend you the 8 million and I'm going to do it at 5%. Well, suddenly that $10 million purchase price makes a lot of sense for me, whereas it wouldn't if I went to the bank. So it's great for the seller because they can get their price. It's great for me because I get a much better interest rate, less money down if I feel confident in the deal. So now I can cash flow. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for cash flow. So with less money down and a much better interest rate, I can cash flow a lot better. And the seller gets his price. So that's what seller financing can do for the seller and the buyer. It can be a true win-win. And, it's not as necessary when the money's flowing freely from the banks at a great interest rate. But today, that's not what's going on. So it's a hot topic today because it might be the best option for the seller and for the buyer.
Yeah, it's an interesting point that you raised about how banks and lenders are being so much more cautious today as well, that
Mhm.
it's not just about interest rates, although that is, of course, important. But yeah, I've talked to a couple sponsors who have expressed concerns about just the availability of loans in general and
Yeah,
how lenders have really pulled back and gotten a lot more cautious in their underwriting. Some of them aren't even that interested in
right.
lending money against real estate
That's
right
right.
now. And when you arrange seller financing, sometimes you can end up with fewer lender fees or points, right? The
That's for sure.
lender, they're often more interested in the interest rate and they focus more on that. And maybe they don't even know to charge you all those fees up front.
That's
Um,
for sure.
and in many cases, you can assume the seller's long-term debt and
Mhm.
be in a great position. So,
Mhm.
Lee, in 30 seconds or less, how do you help people and how can listeners connect with you?
Yeah, Brian, I really enjoy educating people like you're doing on real estate investing. And then some people want to invest with us. So we take passive investors. And if you don't have the time to get into this full time or even part time, you can jump in with us and just put your money to work. And we buy apartment complexes. So we bring investors along to do that with us. You want to find out more? We've got a website, threefoldrei.com. And I'm also very active on LinkedIn.
Awesome. Well, Lee, thank you so much for joining us. And guys, if you enjoy these quick conversations that we have, please rate review the show. It means the world to us. And we will catch you next time, same place, same time. Wondering how private equity real estate investing works? We get it. A lot of investors are put off by phrases like private equity or real estate syndication, but these completely passive investments are actually a lot easier than buying properties directly, buying properties yourself in your own name. So we offer a free 40-minute class called Hack the Rich, 7 Secrets We've Learned from Private Equity Real Estate. There's not even a sales pitch at the end. We'll show you how to invest in these on your own without any help from us. So go to sparkrental.com/hack to take the free class. And we can't wait to chat about your questions.